Resident Evil throws you straight into the chaos, and it never lets go because it's faster, more aggressive, and more confident than it's ever been. You sense the evolution it brings while still feeling natural and perfectly controlled. So I want to talk about why this remake works so well, from the opening village sequence to the fast, aggressive, and intense combat which relies on quick decision making, to the boss fights that raise the stakes. And oh yeah, then there's this guy. Mate, what are you doing in there?
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Fucking bingo. What a belter. Nowhere shows this confidence more than the opening village fight. That tells you everything you need to know. It sets the tone immediately because it's relentless, aggressive, and way more intense than the previous games. I've not played the original, so I quickly came to realise you're not eased into anything here. You are thrown straight into the deep end. You are hunted and surrounded by enemies that close you down from every angle. It's chaotic and it's deliberate. To the moment you get close to this door and this maniac comes into play. And this had me panicking. I had no clue whether to fight him or just keep running around like a lunatic trying to pick off these cannon fodder one by one. But please, just don't go try hiding in here. Whoopsie! And after many laps and a couple of pitchforks to the back, you finally find some sanctuary. But that won't last long. So you have to head first straight out the window and back into the action. Then the intensity and the panic, it starts all over again. So finally, that bell rings and you realise that this village is just the starter. And what comes after this is the real test. And this is where the combat truly begins to shine. Combat is where Resident Evil Remake really starts to show off, because it's not just faster, it's sharper. And this is a clear evolution over the previous titles, where the combat was more methodical and one enemy was usually all you had to worry about. Every encounter feels like it's nudging you to be aggressive without ever letting you be too comfortable, because you're constantly juggling crowd control, positioning, parries, and the occasional moment you finding yourself backed into the corner like an idiot. And a perfect parry comes in clutch. The pacing is relentless, but fair. The guns hit harder and enemies push smarter, and the game has a brilliant habit of rewarding confidence. but punishing overconfidence, so be careful. Otherwise there's a quick trip back straight to that typewriter. So watch where you put in those shots. Hey stranger.
Hello, stranger.
Every encounter is exciting, from shotgunning a group of enemies to make some space, to a perfect marksman shot that the sniper from Saving Private Ryan would have been proud of. There are so many moments throughout the game that feel fluid and so much fun to play. With a wide variety of enemies that make you pick your targets wisely.
Get back.
Bring it, you freaking monster!
And when it all clicks, you're just weaving shots, stabbing enemies from close range, and swapping weapons mid-fight to make sure you're still in control of what's happening. Honestly, it just feels incredible, and you're not overpowered. You're just Leon fucking Kennedy, who's clearly gone through some unbelievable training because he is a one-man army, and any last Plagas follower who gets in his way is getting blown apart or roundhouse to the head. Whatever floats your boat, I suppose. Because the best moments come when you're barely winning and you're trying desperately to find some ammo or that green herb to stay in the fight, and that tension and that pressure to adapt on the fly. That's what takes you into the boss fights, where the game takes everything you've learned and it makes you use it against some unbelievably ugly foes. Yeah, they're not right then. Bosses here are a clear evolution and jump forward from previous titles. And you can see that very simply by looking at the character and arena designs. Each boss is varied and tests a skill you learned from previous parts of the game, whether that be positioning, timing, or managing your ammo like it's a natural resource. Where you know you need to hit each shot as you open your briefcase frantically hoping to see some gunpowder to craft some bullets. And at that point, it's just about dodging the enemy's attacks, who's intent on pummeling you into yesterday, until some handgun ammo magically appears on the floor and you can start fighting back. For about 10 seconds until the cycle starts all over again. What really sells these fights though is the presentation. The camera pulls back just enough for you to feel the scale and appreciate just how ugly these fellas are. And a standout moment during these fights, personally to me, was the village chief fight, because this is the true first boss fight in the game, and it's a great introduction to what to expect, and the way this whole fight plays out is truly a spectacle to behold. The fire is blazing all around you as you're desperately trying to find some ammo and pick your shots. While he's swinging round like a madman. Just look at this. And yeah, dashing those good old red barrels straight at you. What makes these fights feel so intense is the little space the arenas give you, because it's tight and it's uncomfortable, and the sound design is genuinely fantastic. There's no elegant circling around the arena here. It's desperate and it's usually held together by a green herb or two. Because that's the magic of it. The fights don't just look good, they feel exhausting, but in the best way. Granted, some bosses feel like absolute bullet sponges, and you feel like you're just on a timer until another phase happens. I'm looking at you here, Sadler, you absolute helmet. But they are so much fun, and they add a lot to the experience. So yeah, you can break down Resident Evil 4 Remake into combat sections, the intense scenes that added to the atmosphere, the boss design, the pacing, and Leon taking heads clean off shoulders. And it deserves big credit for all that, but honestly, the real magic is how fun it is to play. It's tense, ridiculous, it's brutal, and occasionally hilarious, and somehow perfectly balanced between horror and all-out action. Whether it's trying to get that quick reload as Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes your way, or sneaking around this clawed Wolverine wannabe trying to get a stealthy knife attack, because Capcom just gets it, and they didn't just remake a classic. They proved exactly what made it so fucking special in the first place. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to bingo. So let's see what all the fuss is about. Hey,